Unexpected End to a Short Story, published by Sudha Chandrasekharan. Knowing very well that Chandni was affected with heart problems, great care was taken to break the news of her husband, Shlok's death, as softly as possible by her sister Naina. Naina uttered the news in broken sentences, camouflaging the hints in half concealed manner. Chandni, you know what? Be calm and brave, my dear little sister. Shlok is not in our midst now, told Naina, hugging her sister tightly. Nitin, Chandni's husband's friend, the bearer of this tragic news, was also there, trying to console and provide support to Chandni. News of an accident which had happened in wee hours of today morning near the outskirts of Pune was flashed as breaking news over the TV a couple of hours ago. Shlok's name was seen at the top of the list of those killed in the accident. Shocked on seeing the news, it was Nitin who had gone to the nearby newspaper office to double confirm the news. He hurried to prevent any less considerate and any less assiduous friends to be the bearer of this sad message to Chandani, for whom he had a special sisterly affection. Chandni did not receive the news, as did several others women with an immobilized inability to accept its gravity. No, not my Shlok. So saying, Chandni broke down at once with instantaneous and wild abandonment in Nana's arm. With the storm of grief being subsided gradually, Chandni slowly climbed the stairs leading to her room. And it was clear from her body language that she would be like to left alone and have no one follow her. Please leave me alone, she implored and burst out suddenly. Why has this happened to me? Oh my god! She stood there in her room, staring at the wide open window and sank into the wide and comfortable room, single sofa. Chandni, fully drained and held some of her feelings by immense and mental physical fatigue that captured her body, that seemed to engulf her soul as well as she was motionless, except when a sob escaped her throat and shook her violently. She looked like a child who cried itself uncontrollably. When put the child to sleep and continues this sobbing in its dream too. All of a sudden, Chandni arose, as through awakened from a bad dream. She could feel the delicious breath of rain that was pervading the atmosphere. In the Patel Street, just opposite her house, she could hear a peddler announcing his wares for sale at the top of his shrill voice. The noise, the notes of a popular Hindi song of 1960s which someone was singing reached her ear, somewhat faintly. Oh, I can now hear my favorite Lataji's song wading through the air, thought she. Hearing countless birds chirping in the nearby patch of shady trees, she felt a bit calm and composed. Through the large window could be seen patches of blue sky scattered there and here, wafting through the passing cloud. Chandni, the young fair lady, was one who wore a calm face, the lines of which bespoke suppression and some toughness as well. The face has a different expression now, as there was this dull stare that shone in her eyes, whose gaze was concentrated far away towards one of the patches in the blue sky. It was not a glance of reflection, but rather indicated a suspension of astute and brilliant thoughts. Her intuition could sense something coming towards her, and she waited for it with a bated breath. What could it be? She just could not understand. She did not know. It was too indistinctive and evasive to define. But she could feel it creeping through the sky, coming towards her through the various sounds, fragrance, and color which engulfed the air. Her chest rose with and fell vociferously. She started becoming conscious of the unknown that was advancing towards her to take control of her. She strived hard to resist the force with her, which proved to be as vulnerable as her two white, lean hands. Finally, when she abandoned herself, a small whisper word escaped from her somewhat parted lips. She repeatedly pronounced the word in a soft tone. I'm free, free, free. The empty stare and the terrified look that had followed it disappeared from her eyes, and they appeared to be bright and zestful now. She could hear her pulse beating fast and the blood racing through her body, which warmed and eased her entire body. She did not once question herself as to whether or not it was this beastly joy which held her. A plain and raspotic perception made her dismiss the sensation as insignificance. Yes, she was totally aware that she would weep and break down once she sees the masculine hands of Shlok folded in death. The face that had never glanced, save with loving and tender eyes, but which many a times cast a grey and dead stare at her. But beyond all this disgruntled moment, she could visualize the long procession of future that would be solely with her. With open arms, she was all set to welcome this freedom which she felt was missing during her years wedded to Slok. Yes, she could just live for herself in the years to come. It was a strange feeling of apprehension and joy she felt, butterflies in her stomach. This intention of her, the kind of cruel, made the act look less a crime as she looked at it in that belief moment of luminescence. There would be no power imposing authority above her. That blind obstinacy with which women and men believe they have a private legal entitlement to impose upon their spouses, but yet it could not be said that she did not love him. Yes, at times there was a love and hate relationship between them. It did not matter much now. What could this feeling of love, the baffled mystery be, when compared to this custody of self declaration, which she suddenly realized as the strongest urge of her the present moment? I am born free again. Body and soul are free, she kept repeating in her spent tone. The other hand of the room's closed door, Nana was banging on the door and kneeling with her lips pressed against the keyhole and begging Chandni to open the door and let her in. Chandni, my dear sister, please open the door. I beg of you, little sis. We want to see you. Please listen to me. We are here for you. You are our little princess. Don't torture yourself. We are worried. What is this you are doing, Chandni Guriya? Please, please, we want to see you. For heaven's sake, open the door and let us in. Go away, Nana. Don't you worry about me. I'm not going to harm myself. Be rest assured. Thoughts were running riot. How will Lana ever understand me? Nobody can guess my feelings now. I am drinking in the exhilar of life and enjoying my newfound freedom through the wide open window, gazing at the wonderful azure sky. Soon her mind started racing uncontrollably over those days that are yet to come. Rainy days, summer days, winter days, and all other types of days would be her and her alone. She uttered a quick prayer asking God to grant her very long life. It was just like yesterday that she thought with a shiver about the long life and she might have to live with Shlok. Chandni stood up at the length and opened the door, hearing her sister entreaties, which became louder and louder. Her eyes displayed a maniacal triumph, and she carried herself involuntarily, like Nike, the goddess of victory in Greek mythology. She wrapped her hands around her sister's waist and fully leaning against Nana, both the sisters gradually descended the staircase. Nathan stood at the bottom of the staircase, totally disturbed and devastated by recent happenings. Suddenly, everyone turned their gaze towards the door. Someone was trying to open the main door with a latch key. Who it could be? Perhaps Shlok's parents or some close friends, they thought. Behold, what a sight! It was Shlok who entered the house. In a crumbled t-shirt and somewhat soiled pants, carrying his small suitcase and an umbrella. He looked travel-stained and had obviously missed the bus by a few minutes as the auto rickshaw in which he was traveling to catch his bus was held in heavy traffic and could not make it on time to board the bus. He looked dazed and totally unaware of the tragedy that had struck the bus which he was supposed to board. He was far from the scene of accident and totally clueless of the tragic happening. He stood bewildered and amazed on hearing Nana's ear-piercing cry, and at Nitin's shocked look, Chandni's eye met with that of Shlok's, and suddenly she collapsed and was rushed to the nearby hospital. On admission, she was pronounced dead due to cardiac arrest. But why? Is it due to the crashing of her future dreams, or the beginnings of bad times once again? Or is it something else? Sudden joy that proved to be a killer? It is left to the readers to imagine.